The Iowa Hawkeyes coming off an 8-win season a year ago. 6 Big Ten wins left Kirk Ferentz 1 win shy of tying Woody Hayes for first on the all-time Big Ten wins list. He has 204. He's got a really good team coming back, including 8 all-conference performers back from a season ago. And the head coach of the Hawks, Kirk Ferentz, joins us now heading into year 27 in Iowa City, which is an impressive run. And Coach, I know you well enough to know. I have to ask this question, right? But I know you're going to say you've been around really good players and you've had a really good staff, and I know all that's true. But when you think about being up there with Woody Hayes, passing Amos Alonzo-Stagg last year, passing Bo Schembechler, what is the magnitude of being on the precipice of being the winningest coach in Big Ten history?
Yeah, in some ways I almost feel like it's irreverent because those are really special names there, certainly. And the other component I would add is you got to be in the right place too. And I grew up in Pittsburgh. Steelers have had 3 coaches since 1969, and it's all about the organization there. And I think I've been. And the ironic part, like I didn't even know where Iowa was in 1981 when I came out here. I'd look on a map, literally thought Chicago was the end of civilization as we knew it. And, the second question, what are you going to do in Iowa? Like, what do you do? But obviously we grew to love it, my wife and I. So the fact that we've been here that long, it's just amazing. But the bigger pictures, we've had 2 head coaches. Assuming I make it through the year, 47 years, we've had 2 head coaches at Iowa, and that's so uncommon in collegiate athletics. But I think it speaks well to the place I work at. It's just a great place, a lot of good support. But again, it does get back to the players and coaches, and I will follow up on that. In football, head coach, I'm not saying they're not important, but it's not like a basketball team where you only got 5 guys on the court. In football, there's so many things that have to be right to have success. And I've worked with great assistants in the 80s, and we've had great assistants and players that really care about winning during all 36 of my years there.
There's a lot of excitement about a number of your players on this team this year, but one of them is certainly Mark Gronowski, the quarterback who transferred in from South Dakota State. We haven't had a chance to see him. I know you really haven't had a chance to see him throw to your team, right, because he had a shoulder injury, which he's been mending here in the offseason. But I know you saw him a lot on tape. I know you've seen him around the facility. Give us a sense in what you're getting with Mark Gronowski.
Yeah, like everybody else, I'm anxious to see him break the huddle with our guys and, run a play with our guys, be the quarterback. So, but what I would say is, since we met him back in January right after New Year's, he and his dad came to town, spent a day and a half, and when he walked out, I felt so good about who he was and his family life, all those types of things. Comes in with a mechanical engineering degree. I thought about engineering for about 10 minutes and then, moved on with a Dean's List GPA. So he's just a really impressive guy, obviously very intelligent, obviously a hard worker to get a degree like that. And then accomplished on the field. And I think the levels is so overrated. I think good players are good players, and otherwise everybody in the NFL would be coming from the marquee schools and programs. And, and the other thing I would just say I admire, he came in with a surgery, post-surgery, couldn't do all the hard work that guys do in the spring and the winter program and spring ball, yet he handled it really adeptly, didn't try to force anything. And now that he is working, like everybody in our building, all the players, anybody associates with him just has the highest regard for him.
Coach, because of your success that Rever described, you've been around longer than most doing what you're doing, and yet you've embraced all the changes. You and I shared thoughts during the summer about this. What changes do you really like about what's going on?
First of all, you don't have to like everything, right?
Right.
It's just
right.
It's the way life is. You don't have to like everything or be 100% on board, but at some point you've got to decide, okay, what are we going to do here moving forward? And so we've tried to be as smart and just tried to, make the decisions that fit our program and not compromise who we are or what we are. We'll find out if it works or not. Time will tell, but happy with that. To your point, I'm really excited about what just took place and hopefully can stay in place. The concept of, revenue share. Right. The only addition I told our guys 2 weeks ago, I said if I was in charge, which I'm not, 80% of whatever you earn would be put away for 10 years, somewhere safe where it would work for you, and then you guys can do whatever you want. That's not the real world. But I think the revenue share concept and hopefully realistic NIL cherry pick Caitlin Clark, Spencer Lee. Now that's what NIL is about.
Right.
Not somebody that is the fourth team, whatever, going down and signing 10 autographs. What are we talking about? But that's the world we've lived in the last 3 years. And one big takeaway from the NFL, the salary cap, contracts being contracts, free agency being free agency, the structure where 32 teams can compete on an equal level. And then, ownership plays into it, coaches and players, that's who wins in the NFL. We've gotten off that path, so I'm hoping we're back on that path. And I know there's a million legal battles to be fought, but gosh, I hope we can just kind of get back to where it gets down to playing and coaching and not all the other stuff.
I'd argue that the majority of coaches we all talk to in the off season have an element of, God, the schedule's crazy. The grind is crazy. It's different than it was before. I'm curious for you, what keeps you going?
It's always been crazy. I mean, What are they talking about today, right? I mean, it's always been crazy. But, it's if you love what you do, it's what you do. And I've never been into, working just to work or do things look busy. But, you do what's necessary. That's what you do, and that's how I was raised, how I was taught, out of football and in football. And the best guys I've been around, they do what they have to do. They don't talk about it, and it drives me crazy when coaches talk about it because, a lot of people work hard. There are other people that have 2 jobs and other people that are, we're pretty fortunate. I was telling somebody the other day, we look at our building. We get fed. We're putting our feet up and watching film. Okay, yeah. It's not like working in a coal mine or, there's a lot of jobs that are a lot harder than ours.
Coach, I read where someone asked you about how long you were going to coach, and your answer was something like, well, I don't know that I can go home. Mary's not ready for me walking around the house asking me stupid questions. What are some of the stupid questions?
Well, I've tried to learn not to ask those questions about 15 years ago, maybe. Finances. And I hope Mary's honest because I'll walk home someday. The whole house will be emptied out, and I have no idea what to do on anything. So I could be in trouble there. But pretty much any question I ask is stupid when it comes to the household because she runs it all. And I have her blessings to keep playing or keep coaching. And I appreciate that because, as you know, coaches' wives, they're the ones that really pay the price. Talk about working hard. We moved to Maine from Iowa in 1989. I'm up there, and she's trying to move 4 kids up there and snowstorm and all the whole 9 yards. So they pay a real price, but she's been so supportive, and I'm so appreciative.
There's not a coach in the country that doesn't admire what you do. I'd be curious what you might say are non-negotiables to build and sustain success like you have as a head coach.
We all have our beliefs of what's important. And when I got here 27 years ago, I was hardly a veteran guy, but had done it long enough to and been around some really good people. And I've been so fortunate, not only head coaches, but assistants I've worked with. I've learned so much. So you have an idea of what you do believe in, some sense of this is what's important. So that's one thing we've stuck to for 20 plus years. And like I said, I really feel good about our team this fall and how it's going to go. The landscape's been changing. And I've told people, up through January, I think I've got an idea of where it's at. What happens afterwards, who the heck knows? But the one thing I know is we're going to stay true to who we are, what we are. And, if that's not good enough, then somebody else is going to turn at it.
It's been good enough, I think. It's been the general theme that's run through it. I want to ask you a little bit about the running back position. Caleb Johnson was just unbelievable last year. I think we all anticipated he'd be good. Maybe you anticipated he was going to be what he was last year. I don't know that we did. How do you replace that production at running back?
So that's what's so awesome about college sports. And I was looking at the graphic up on the screen at the start. Key departures, Jay Higgins, Caleb Johnson. So Jay Higgins, how are we going to replace Jack Campbell? We had Jay Higgins, who's not a first-round pick, but a first-round player, college player. And don't rule him out with the Ravens either. But, he stepped in, he learned, watched other guys learn, and went in and played really well. But he had done the hard work necessary. Caleb last year, his turning point, in my opinion, was in August. He practiced so well entire month of August, just a focus that he's always been a great kid, but his focus here, there, sometimes here. And last year it was like, boom, right there, and that's how he played. And so things don't happen by accident, but there's a maturity process, being around other guys, learning. And I look at our room right now. I'm not sure who's going to be the starter. I'm not sure how the reps are going to get divided. And that may change as we go through the season, but it's a really good group of guys. We've got guys we all feel good about, and I think we can play winning football with all 5 guys that were with us in the spring.
Well, building off that kind of same question at linebacker, you lose a lot of production there, as you were just talking about. Who are the next guys in line?
Well, Jaden Harrell's the first guy that comes to mind, Carson Char, but again, we got a group of guys that have all been working and competing, and this team, as much as any as I can remember recently, it's going to go through August before. If I wrote down our starters right now, I'd be wrong probably on 5, 6, 7 of them. I'm guessing by the start of the season, and then I'll carry it into the month of September. Also, I'll go back to 08. Pat Anger and Stanzi both were second team the month of September in 08, and probably waited too long to get Stanzi in there. Me, that was my job, and I didn't do it. But anyway, those guys end up being great leaders in the program that year, and then our 09 Orange Bowl team, those guys did a great job. So I think we could see some of those stories as well.
Yeah, great home schedule. Some tough games, but I know the fans are anticipating Oregon, Penn State, Indiana. What does it mean to have high-profile games like that at home?
It's a great thing about our conference. We just play so many tough opponents, and every week, as you guys know, there is a real difference in conference football. You cannot deny that. Anybody knows sports, because every week you just don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. So I got some great games, big names as we sit here today, but the landscape may look different in November. You never know. So each game's going to be a challenge.
You're one of the few teams that have obviously the 9 conference games, but a non-conference rival. That makes it even more difficult for a place like Iowa with the schedule.
Yeah, it does. I got asked earlier about the SEC Big Ten matchup. First answer is they're playing 8 conference games, we play 9. I'm not great in math, but that ain't smart. And then to your point,
Iowa State,
our 10th game is Iowa State, and I don't like playing it because it's such a hard series. They've done a great job, and it's a great competitive thing. But it's so good for our state, and
right.
Why wouldn't we play it? But it is one more big challenge.
No doubt.
Last year we saw elements of your offense. We had your final regular season game against Maryland, and the quarterback room everybody was used up by the time you got to the end of the season. I'm curious for Tim Lester, where you think this offense will go, this receiving room. Reese Vanderzee coming back is maybe the leader in that room right now, and I'm curious what you might project or what you might be hopeful for around the passing game.
Cherry pick Reese. Reese was hurt all summer last year. He came in after playing baseball. He was hurt. He was hurt a lot in August. So, he was a kid out there, but he did go up and compete for a ball a couple times during the year to get you excited. He's a totally different guy now. He's been in the program. He's gone through the summer program, winter program. He's just a different guy physically and maturity-wise. So I think he's going to take a big step forward, and I think we got a lot of guys in that room that have done the hard work. So I'm excited to see that. We talked about the running back room. I think it's very similar. And I think we're finally, after a couple of years of some tough circumstances, our line plays back to where we like it, at least closer to, and feel good about the quarterback spot. So I do know this. If you can complete a couple passes and run the ball, you might have a chance to maybe score some points and win if you play defense on top of it in special teams. So that's always been the picture. It's always been the goal. But, you got to work around the obstacles. And credit to our guys the last couple of years, our staff and our players, handling some tough circumstances. And you mentioned the Maryland game. Jackson wasn't ready to be a starter in the Big Ten, but he got us through the game and we won it and did an admirable job.
Kirk Ferentz, head coach of the Hawkeyes. Coach, always a pleasure to visit with you. Looking forward to watching Iowa this year. We learned a ton when we're at camp, so we look forward to that as well, and appreciate your time as always.
Look forward to hosting you guys. Always great having you.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Thanks, Coach.